Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Please take your seats, and we're going to go ahead and start the program very shortly. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am Tyler Detloff. I'm a proud Northern alumnus, and I'm the new director of the Center for Native American Studies. I look forward, thank you. Miigwech, thank you. I look forward to meeting members of the campus community in the coming days and getting reacquainted with others and helping NMU to get to know even more about what the Center for Native American Studies has to offer students, faculty, and staff. At this time, it's my honor to share that Northern Michigan University is located on the ancestral homelands of the Anishinaabe Three Fires Confederacy. Gitche Name B'nai Zibing is the traditional name of Marquette. It's also my honor to welcome to the podium Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Ane Dahlman. Ane.
Thank you. My dress is so long, I had to hold it here to the side. I knew people show up at NMU, but look at today. Thank you for being here today. It's a full house. Thank you, Tyler, so much. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 convocation at Northern Michigan University. I'm Ane Dahlman. I'm your Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. We are very happy that you've joined us today. I hope you enjoyed our delicious breakfast. Please help me thank NMU Dining Services for another outstanding meal. Next, I would like to give a special welcome to the 33 new tenure-earning and term faculty, 73 adjunct faculty, 94 new graduate assistants, and 112 new staff members to the Northern family. With those new to the university, please stand so we can say hello. Welcome to NMU. Thank you for choosing Northern, and we look forward to working with you. I look forward to learning right beside you, as this is my first fall on this campus as well. While you're navigating your first weeks of the semester, please don't hesitate to introduce yourselves to us so we have a chance to learn about you and how we may integrate your talents into the fabric of all things Northern. Also, a warm welcome to Mr. Jeremy Hosking from the Governor's Office. Mr. Hosking. Thanks for being here, and I hear you are one of our adjunct faculty this year, so thank you, thank you. Also, we have Ms. Aubrey Moore from U.S. Senator Gary Peters' office. Welcome to campus. And to those participating through our video stream, we are pleased that you have joined us. In my brief remarks this morning, I will share my thoughts in 3 areas, including a little bit about my cultural background, and then I will share a vision for how we can continue building on our success and achieve academic excellence. First, the 6-year-old me, growing up in a small town of 3,000 people in Finland, declaring that she would go and see the world to her dad, who responded by saying that she could do anything, would be, I know, and I lost him too early, would be a lot of surprise today and a little bit proud as I stand here in front of you as your provost. In my 4 months in Marquette and at NMU, I have learned so much about the amazing things that we do. I've also heard a lot about SISU as an ideal for our campus and our students. I've learned about its meaning as individual perseverance, stamina, and the never give up spirit. While all this is true, I wanted to share a couple additional thoughts about SISU, a very Finnish concept that we might not think about. A key element to SISU is community. Finland is a small country, isolated from much of the world by geography. My hometown in Finland is 20 degrees more north than Market, where winters are dark and brutal. Also, Finland is the only country in the world where people speak Finnish. Yet, Finland is a well-developed, innovative society where people live a high quality of life. This is because Finns understand that there is strength in doing things together. A key ideal of the Finnish society is jokainen. I tried to find an easy word. That was the easiest I could think of. Jokainen, meaning everyone. Finland values the achievements of individuals less, instead making sure that everyone, jokainen, has the tools for a successful life. This means that every child knows how to read, write, do math, and has access to highly nutritious food and healthcare through schools. The only reason I went on to study at the university, including studying abroad in 3 countries, and ultimately immigrated to the US, was because I was brought up by the village. Family, teachers, peers, and the society, all supporting and propelling me farther and higher. A strong community support enables individuals to believe in things that haven't been done before, go and explore, and create their own unique futures. To do things that scare you. It is scary, many things that we do. To dare to dream big dreams. In my short time here, I already sense a similar sentiment at NMU, where we believe that we can do things others might not think we can do. So I propose that we complement our definition of SISU to include the notion of being strong together. Second, the support of a community has magical powers. Do you know what happens when we give people who have potential the belief and opportunity to shine? They transform their lives and go on to do extraordinary things for others. It takes all of us as a university community to become the best university community so that we can support all of our students to realize their potential. We have the best people, the most brilliant minds across campus. So let us create unimaginably positive outcomes for our students so they can go on and create a vibrant UP, Michigan, and a better world as cultural brokers, scientists, educators, healthcare workers, and artists. Our students are brave and ready to shine. For our first-generation students, attending college is a first of many firsts. Anything is possible. Those studying far away from family and friends to pursue an education are making an investment into a bright future. Students balancing life responsibilities and going to school are making sacrifices that prepare them for a better tomorrow. In our roles as supporters and mentors, we need to be brave ourselves so we can encourage students to dare to dream big dreams. Being brave means listening more. In our conversations with students, we shouldn't only focus on telling students how to do things or teaching students what we know, but encourage students to share their life experiences and their wisdom, and create spaces everywhere on campus where students can dream, exchange ideas, learn new perspectives, to share their doubts, to rebuild courage, and then soar. Futures aren't discovered. They are built block by block with the assistance of great mentors. There are many examples of transformational learning resulting from collaboration and persistence, where faculty and staff, and often community partners, work together with students to help students reach their potential. For example, over 100 students last year presented their research under the mentorship of faculty in last year's Student Scholarship Celebration. In biology, biochemistry, psychology, earth, environment, and geographical sciences, social work, and many more. Students in the Criminal Justice Department worked directly with the Michigan State Police to analyze UP homicide and missing persons cold cases in the hope of generating new leads. 104 NMU students studied abroad across the globe, including Germany, Japan, New Zealand, and Spain. 86 international students from 40 countries studied at NMU last year, including such countries as Ghana, Azerbaijan, and the Philippines. Athletic training students assisted with the NMU Concussion Clinic, accommodating 450 visits per year, helping patients between the ages of 8 and 80 who receive treatment for concussions. There are so many other examples. Now let us strive to offer these kinds of transformational learning opportunities to each and every one of our students. What is it in Finnish? Jokainen student. You failed. Sorry, that was not very inspiring. Third and last, with the focus on individual perseverance to transform one's life and a strong community, we can create a resilient campus. On a resilient campus, we understand our core mission as an open access campus where people can come as they are and where all are accepted. If you don't remember anything else from my speech, remember that. All are welcome and all are accepted. With supports, people can succeed despite great personal challenges. Wildcats never give up. Also, on a resilient campus, we can do hard things together. We are committed to engaging in an open dialogue, listening to one another, and disagreeing respectfully to create excellence and to find the best solutions to great challenges of our time. We find common ground to find interdisciplinary connections, resulting in academic excellence through continuing to build collaborations in many areas, such as sustainability, forensic science, sports psychology, neuroscience, etc. In our liberal arts core, we will come together to address the critical competencies of this decade that our graduates must exhibit for success in careers and life, including creativity, originality, initiative, leadership, social influence, stress tolerance, and flexibility. Research conducted by World Economic Forum. Being great takes effort and requires showing up with everything we have each day. The way we have done today, we have showed up. Our students deserve the best. Our region needs our full commitment, and we owe our uncompromising focus on improvement to the brave pioneers who dreamed a big dream and created this great university 125 years ago. Together we can ensure that our university will survive and even thrive for another 125 years. 2149, here we come. At this time, I would like to invite to the stage Dr. Jamie Crabb, a professor in the School of Nursing who serves as the chair of the Academic Senate. Jamie, thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to collaborating with you and the Academic Senate. Take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Dahlman. So I would like to welcome our students, staff, faculty, administrators, and our Board of Trustees to the 2024-2025 academic school year. I am honored to be speaking today as the chair of the Academic Senate. It's great to see the return of everyone to campus. I know everyone thinks that faculty are off for the summer, but sadly, we may not be on campus, but I promise you we are doing stuff. So with that being said, this year I'd like to start out on the right foot. However, someone very dear to me pointed out that we wouldn't stay standing if we started out on the right foot. So why don't we start out on both feet? The work of the Academic Senate supports our academic mission and our students' experience here at Northern. The Academic Senate consists of members from each academic department, our ASNMU representatives, NMU's administrators, and other personnel across campus. The duties of the Academic Senate include evaluating curriculum, academic policies, research proposals, and other faculty-wide concerns. And our Academic Senate is made up of Senate committees as well, which contribute to our ability to look at these things. We are dependent upon our senators to solicit feedback from their respective departments. And with this review process that we do in Senate, they actually bring that feedback to us. And this is one of our venues on campus where shared governance happens. When we have a successful proposal, it is then sent to Provost Dahlman's office, and she gets the choice to sign it or veto it. Thank God we've not had any of those. But I would encourage everyone here to try to be a part of that process. Our university is celebrating 125 years of Northern Pride. Can you imagine all the changes that have happened here at Northern over the last 125 years? We have staff, faculty, and administrators that are just as unique as the nature that surrounds us. I would like to challenge every student, faculty member, and member of the administrative team to let your light shine this year. Everything that you do, every interaction that you have, let your light shine. Northern is known for its people. We contribute to our community in so many ways, be it teaching, research, volunteering, or just engagement. We have individuals in our audience today that are new to NMU, and they did stand up before, but I would encourage you to all welcome them with open arms. For every individual, try to find a peer that can be a resource or a mentor to you as you transition into your role. NMU has taken steps to support our people through our strategic plan and partnership with the Okanagan Charter. NMU is a constant within our community and for our students. I would ask that each person remember why you are here today, and I know that it's not just for a paycheck. Use that moment to carry you through when encountering a challenging time. Every one of us has a place here at NMU. Be engaged and contribute to our community. When days are rough, remember to participate in your own self-care, just as much as providing self-care for those around us. To our faculty, I encourage you to find work-life balance. Insert laugh, I know. To our staff, thank you for everything that you do for us on a daily basis, and please know that we understand the value that you offer to this university. To our students, please know that the campus community wants you to succeed and reach your full potential. I would like everyone to take ownership to promote changes in Northern that will improve us and only make us better, and go for that additional 125 years. In conclusion, we must support people surrounding us with collegiality, embrace our surroundings, and if we see something that needs improvement, be willing to lend a hand or maybe offer a suggestion that may help to find a possible solution. Seek out the potential in everyone you meet and strive to be your Northern best. I wish each of you well in the upcoming year, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions or concerns that you feel the Academic Senate may address. And next is the wonderful Katie Barman. And Katie is coming to us as one of our staff members. She is the Executive Administrative Assistant in the Office of Institutional Effectiveness. And this is kind of a new role for us that we're having them come to Convocation, but what an amazing way to embrace our campus community and to include everybody up here. So Katie, welcome to the podium.
Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate the introduction. It is a unique honor to stand here, able to address you all today. My name is Katie Berman, and I'm a relatively new staff member. I am also one of many present who are long-term UP residents, past or current NMU students, and or curious folk involved in higher education. I would wager that, if not all, many of us also have ties to the community at large, who have held different titles and have worn a variety of hats. I've been called author, babysitter, substitute teacher, and most recently, Executive Administrative Assistant in the Office of Institutional Effectiveness. Admittedly, that took a little more practice to memorize. But why did this new face, this former speech and debate kid, step up to the mic today? As a member of the UAW Local 1950 TOP Union, I am represented by the NMU Staff Labor Council, a group dedicated to representing our hardworking staff members, those who make certain that our university runs smoothly, who provide a safe and supportive campus environment, who work in unseen ways to facilitate the forward momentum of university growth. A great deal of appreciation is owed to our administrative personnel, custodians, student workers, technical staff, and many, many others. Their endeavors cause positive change in each of our core values, especially benefiting our community. Promoting rigor, promoting inclusion, and improving well-being. When staff members are supported and valued, the entire institution benefits. By providing access to educational resources, training programs, and workshops, the Staff Labor Council empowers our staff to reach their personal and professional goals. The council is also committed to advocating for comprehensive benefits, improved working conditions, and fair wages. Collective efforts and solidarity bolster us in our efforts to achieve these goals and to create a workplace that requires and reflects equitable principles. Many of the incredible professors here at Northern teach a very similar lesson that is also very important. It is so terrifically human that each of us, with our different titles, our different experiences, and our different perspectives, we still yearn to collaborate. We still strive to thrive together. It is through that humane nature, working through the collective efforts of staff, faculty, and students, that drives toward united excellence. I am often awash with gratitude to have returned to campus, and I am so grateful to all of you who have had the pleasure of speaking with, learning from, and working alongside. It's this interconnectedness that's kind of taught me that at Northern, the N stands for nexus, or maybe network. I'm still workshopping this, so. In all seriousness, I am surrounded by capable and competent individuals, people who honor the history of this university by working to improve this place and the structures within it. As we focus on this new academic year, let's continue to work together to support one another and progress toward a future where everyone's contributions are recognized and celebrated. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'd like to wish us all a fulfilling and successful year ahead. Additionally, Our students are not just our focus, but they're also some of the best of us. So specifically, I'd like to draw attention to those voted to represent the student body by joining the Associated Students of NMU, our student government. Specifically, Ruby Joseph, Vice President, and our next esteemed speaker this morning, ASNMU President Dana Hinckley.
Thanks, Katie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dana Hinckley, and I am the newly elected ASNMU president for this year. I'm really honored to be elected into this position. It's very new to me, so I'm really excited for what's to come this year. ASNMU is a resource for students. It's a voice for students, and it serves as a way to connect the student body with administration. Our main goal this year is to build stronger connections between students and to expand upon our new and existing programming. So, for example, we're going to be adding to our student organization rental closet, which currently consists of just a karaoke machine. It's going to be a hit, though. Students love karaoke. We're going to get some more stuff soon, though. We're also going to be revamping our bike share program, which I believe the last time that it was up and running was 2019. So we're just waiting for some funding to come through for that, and then we're going to get our bike share program back up and running. We only have like 4 bikes right now, so we'll see how that goes. We also have some exciting events coming up that you might have heard about. We have our very first Wildcat Farmers Market. That's going to be during homecoming week on September 17th, which is a Tuesday. We'll see how that goes as well. A lot of this stuff is very new, so bear with me. Coming up in the winter semester, we're also going to have a winter field day. This is going to be an event where participants can compete to take home a trophy. And this is my official invitation to every single person in this room to join us for this event. I mean everyone, so start practicing because the students are going to bring some tough competition. Our General Assembly is a very ambitious group. We're very ambitious this year. We want to work closely with administration and faculty as well as student organizations to better understand where we are needed in our role as a student government. And my ASNMU colleagues and I truly understand that the Northern experience is not just a phrase, it's a dynamic thing that happens both in and outside of the classroom. Marketing and Communications recently created a video to demonstrate this, and I'd like to show that to you now.
Something draws us to Northern Michigan University. Calls us up to this point on Lake Superior, like a beacon. An opportunity, an experience, just waiting for us to arrive. And so we head north. Inspired by the beauty and spirit that surrounds us here, we immerse ourselves in the perfect environment to test our minds and try our hands. Guided by this community of scholars, mentors, and friends who show up for us in every way, we set a course of action for our futures, and we stay true. We explore fields that fill us with wonder. We find insights and unearth solutions that show us we're on the right track. We uncover new territory, new ways of thinking, and walks of life to push us outside our comfort. And through it all, we feel it. A constant reminder that this is what moves our lives forward and leads this region onward, northward. We take north with us, wherever we go. Wildcats always find a way to uplift those around us. Whatever the journey, we lead out front and welcome others in. Working together to weather any storm with an iron will and an uncommon warmth. Because at NMU, where we are and who we are have always been one and the same. It's in our name and in our nature. North never wavers, always north. Northern Michigan University.
Thanks for that video. That was my first time seeing it, and I actually really liked it. So being an NMU student is truly a special experience, and I know that our university president, Dr. Brock Tessman, truly grasps this. I have the pleasure of introducing somebody today who has had such a positive impact on our university. He's someone who genuinely connects with students and truly cares about everyone he meets. A lot of students might say that his presence on campus feels like having a celebrity around. It's clear that he is someone who's highly respected and loved by the student body. Without further ado, please help me in welcoming President Brock Tessman.
All right. I mean, where do I begin? And I mean, seriously, where do I begin? If you know me, you know I'm not a big script person. So much to Cindy's consternation, I'll walk my way through this convocation address. I watched a bit of both conventions. I have to say, last night I watched a bit of the Democratic National Convention, and if you saw it, you know that Barack Obama spoke, and he spoke after Michelle Obama. And he noted it's really difficult to follow his wife, Michelle Obama. And so here I am, stuck at the podium after just a tremendous set of remarks. Thank you, Dana. Of course, thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Katie. Look, last year, Dan Truckee stole Convocation. Dan, I think I saw you earlier. I mean, it was the highlight of Convocation. And this year, Katie, your comments, especially your comments about what it means to be human and regardless of the role that we play here, our desire to collaborate, that's going to stick with me for a very, very long time. And yes, I think that deserves a round of applause. And how about our new provost, Anne Dahlman? I am so lucky and grateful to count you as a partner, both a thought partner, a partner in work, and someone that I've already learned so much from. You're an inspiration, and we are very lucky to have you here at Northern Michigan University. All right. So I say this all the time, but place and space, the kind of setup matters quite a bit. I know that it's our custom to thank folks at the beginning of events like this. I want to thank all of you for showing up, and I do want to thank again our dining services staff. That's both front of house, back of house, Paul, Sally, Andrea, Diane at the Northern Center. When we moved Convocation to this location, I actually had in mind a little bit more informal setup, a big room, the doors open with light coming in, signaling the beginning of the academic year. And we are also lucky as a university to enjoy such a fine place, such a fine space, the terrific food. So thank you again to everyone who made this morning possible. Okay. I shared this with a couple of folks walking in. And last year, I was really nervous for this talk and this day. And I'm not someone who really gets nervous easily at all. But I was really nervous last year. And I thought, well, gosh, it's because last year was my first year here, and, you never know how things are going to kind of kick off. Surely, after having done this one time, the nerves would go away. And it's crazy, they haven't. I'm so nervous, and it's the best thing. And so you think, well, why are you nervous in front of this crew and on this day? And I mean, there are a lot of answers, maybe. Careful not to bury the lead. One of the reasons I might be nervous is because it's a huge year. It's the start of a new academic year. We've got so much to celebrate. Y'all have been following along over the summer. We're welcoming back to campus 2 Wildcat Olympians. We know that we got this summer a STARS Gold rating for all of our sustainability work. We know it's our 125th anniversary. I'll talk about that a bit later. But the reason I'm nervous is because of who's in this room right now. It's the talent, it's the excellence, it's the commitment, it's the humanity, Katie, that's in this room right now. And I don't say it lightly. I kind of feel the burden of expectations, but more so the standard that you all set. And some of the stories, some of the excellence, some of the commitment that exists in this room is, something that we hear about a lot. There are big splashy stories. There are things that are really visible. I think it's the hidden stories, the quiet stories that make me most nervous. They also make me most inspired, and they make this place tick. On your table, there's actually a lot of cards on your table. There's some information about our strategic plan that you'll hear about a bit later. There is a feedback card. I mean, this is a great opportunity for me and our team to collect feedback about things you'd like to hear more about this year, things you might be concerned with, things that you're excited about. But in my humble opinion, the most important card is, it's at least white on one side. Alexandra, I'm looking at your table, but it's the unsung hero card. All right, and I'm not really sure whether unsung is the right term for it. I think kind of quiet hero might be a more northern way of looking at things. This is something that really developed last year, and it was an opportunity for you all at this convocation last year to recognize folks that you know make Northern tick, make Northern excellent, but who may not always get the shout outs. And so over the course of last year, I had a chance to have lunch with many, if not almost all of the folks who were nominated as unsung heroes. I learned a lot from those folks. I think it was a good kind of collaborative team building moment for the entire university. We decided to do it again. And if you don't do anything else, you get bored of listening to me talk, take a quick gander at the names on those cards, because so much about what makes our excellence possible, allows us to serve our students in the way we do, is because of the people on that card. And it's not just the folks on that card. Cindy, you can start getting anxious now about the amount of time I'm taking, but I want to mention a few people who are in the room, because this place is about the people in this room and the people that we connect with out on campus. In 10 minutes, I spent 10 minutes this morning pulling this together. This is what came to mind. Dana, I knew you were going to be here. I don't know where you went. Where are you? Oh, Dana's busy. She had to go. So Dana, as a student, student body president, huge deal, right? Also over the last year, she connected and teamed up with Carolyn Eagle to start a new student organization dedicated to supporting our commuter students, basically half of our student body. A fantastic thing. Dana, again, you're noticing a pattern here. Tristan, Carrie Rogers really built out the diversity and disability student org, which has done so much to raise awareness about disability on this campus and the excellence that all of our students bring to the table. Jesse Danapal. Jesse, you and I haven't talked a lot, but one of the most memorable things for me last year was actually a really challenging encounter, but an encounter where you said, look, there are people all around this campus who step up when times are tough. And you, I know, even though you have so many responsibilities in the School of Education, stepped up to help another team on campus during a period of great transition when they needed your help with mentorship and service. Our student support services, our disability services. I think about Bia, I think about Jamie, Linda, Maddie, Tori, Raina, Jenny, Lilith, getting a chance to learn more about what you do to make things tick, to make Northern work for students who may be coming in not exactly on the glide path. I think about all of our TOPs, and the numbers are too great for me to run through all of our TOPs this morning. But I think about meeting with the psychological science department and having everyone look to Grace to understand, what is the history of this department? What is it that we really need in order to function at our highest level? That exists across this campus in academic departments, in departments that support our academic endeavors. I think about our faculty. John Billman, I had a chance to spend an afternoon with John, who's taking students out to Granite Island for like a week-long fiction workshop. What an amazing experience for our students. It embodies that learning by doing approach that makes Northern so special. Last spring, at the end of the semester, the legacy dinner, okay? And Logan Glendenning and Chef Alden McDonald and our student, Trixie Jacobson, who put together this amazing 7-course dinner for the community. I think about Chris McMaster, who I had a chance to spend time with on Mackinac Island, advocating for Northern in our cold case program alongside students so that we could secure funding from the state, by the way, which we did, in order to double the size of that cold case program. I think about Kel Sassy and April Lindola, bringing the National Writing Project back to Northern Michigan University through the Northern Shores Storywork Network. And, administrators, directors, and above, occasionally we do some good things as well. And I think about all of the good news coming on that front. Elise Burr and the Center for Rural Health securing a grant to launch a feasibility study around a dental hygiene program on this campus. More recently, Steve Vandenhoven securing almost $1 million grant in order to support flexible curriculum and lifelong learning on this campus. And I want to leave with one example that I think just captures almost everything that's in Northern spirit. And this is last winter. So picture a cold January day. We didn't have a lot of cold days last year. But picture one of the coldest January days after a bit of heavy snowfall. And so our crew does a great job of clearing out the snow. It creates giant snow drifts. And I got an email in January from someone on campus saying, hey, you need to know about this. Okay. What we had this morning was a couple of students who were student workers in the grounds crew. I don't think they're here this morning, but Drake and Zach, I'll leave it at that, who noticed somebody who's in distress. And it looked like they were actually about to fall into a really deep kind of snow pile, and they weren't in shape to be able to climb out. And they were worried about this person's life. It was a life or death kind of moment. And so those two students immediately called their supervisor, our ground supervisor, Andy Smith. Andy Smith connected with one of our police officers, Jeff Stampy, who got over to the parking lot where this was happening. And alongside the students, they managed to get that individual out of that snowdrift and I think more likely than not, save their life. It's not an academic story, but it captures so much of the community aspect of Sisu. It captures what makes Northern a great place that's filled with great people. So know that that is what makes me nervous about today, is the excellence and commitment that exists in this room and across our campus. So, all that said, and Derek, I told you you'd have to sit on the front slide for a little while, but you can move to the next slide now. Our 125th anniversary, right? And you have an opportunity to learn more about what's happening with the 125th. I'm not going to spend a ton of time diving into each event associated with the 125th. But think about that, from 1899 until today. And then fast forward, you're better at math than I am, but 2149. I mean, surely we'll have the flying cars and be living on a moon. We'll have a satellite campus there. But 125 years. I didn't just commit to anything, by the way. Think about what we have going on. And no good convocation address from a president is complete without a mention of beer. So I'm going to mention beer as the starting point here, but forgive me. But we have, this Friday, kind of the kickoff of the peak season of our 125th, the launching of a co-branded beer, Wildcat Gold Lager with Black Rocks Brewery. I want to be very clear, this is brewed by alumni, strictly for alumni and other people of professional age. It has nothing to do with our student body. It's a great example of collaboration, a local terrific story connecting with our team here. And it's going to be a great event. I'm actually worried about capacity at Black Rocks. But that's going to kick us off. And then just think about what we have after that. I think September 13th, we have the Yoopers team against the Red Wings alumni hockey game. I haven't been here for one of those. That's going to be an amazing event. We have our homecoming with the 125th celebration dinner. On Friday, September 20th, we have a Maddie and Tay concert out behind the Superior Dome. That'll be fantastic. We have, certainly not to shortchange this, the game itself against Alma College. We'll be rooting on the Wildcats. And then a couple of weeks later, there's also another little contest. Tom Izzo and his Michigan State Spartans are going to come up and play a basketball game in the Superior Dome against the Northern Michigan University Wildcats. It's going to be a fantastic fall of 125th anniversary events. So, a lot to celebrate. I also want to say, this is a year of big questions and big challenges for the university as well. And that's okay. I think that there are big things for us to tackle together. I will point out, like any organization, we'll celebrate our successes and our achievements, and we'll work through some of the things we need to make more progress on. I so appreciate remarks from our student body, from our staff leadership, and our faculty leadership. Last year, when I stood here, I said it'd be a year of investing in our people and, matching this philosophy of building great physical infrastructure and facilities on our campus with a philosophy of investing in the human infrastructure that is truly special about Northern. And I think we've built some positive momentum there. The MOU conversations with our AAUP union were productive in themselves. The process was healthier. I think the outcome was a healthier outcome. But look, I want to make it clear that process never ends. There's no moment where we're sort of done investing in the people that make this place special. And so, this year, in 2025, and certainly in 2026 and beyond, there's an earnest effort and a serious effort underway on campus with myself and our leadership and also with our board of trustees to figure out the next concrete steps to further invest in our people, to build on the momentum we have with the AAUP and extend that to other unions on campus, non-represented folks on campus. I can't emphasize the seriousness or the urgency of that effort enough. That'll be a big thing for us to work on. And we haven't been perfect in the past, and we'll never be perfect in the future, but it's a top priority as we head into this year. A second big, question or challenge, and Derek, you have frequently asked questions. I'm not sure how frequently people ask about the question of free speech, but let me tell you, this is something that we've been thinking a lot about this past year. It's not new to this campus. We've thought about our free speech policies, our policies related to protest and activism, academic freedom on this campus for a long time. It's not new at all. This is also not just about the student encampment on Academic Mall last spring. It's also about political polarization in this country, in the UP, on our campus. It's also about the challenges that we see pop up every single day to academic freedom on campuses, not just in other states, also in Michigan. Questions around free speech, freedom of expression, protest are central to the success of this university. And what I'd say is that our starting point is always to remember that this university, like the rest of this country, is based largely on commitment to the First Amendment. It doesn't mean that that commitment is limitless, but that's always our starting point. And I want to read for you the preamble to our NMU student handbook. I'm not a big reader. This may be the only thing I read to you this morning, but I think that this captures our starting point when it comes to free speech issues. Academic institutions exist for the transmission of knowledge, the pursuit of truth, the holistic development of students, and the general well-being of society. Free inquiry and free expression are indispensable to the attainment of these goals. As members of the academic community, students should be encouraged to develop the capacity for critical judgment and to engage in a sustained and independent search for truth. I think that that's a fantastic preamble. I think that that captures our starting point. Supporting free speech, academic freedom, the freedom of expression, maintaining content neutrality. This is not about what's being said. And in fact, many times what's being said could not just be challenging, it could be offensive. We will cease to exist as a true university if we fail to live up to that standard. We have to promote that kind of dialogue and debate on our campus. Now, it is also true that there are other rights that students and employees have on this campus. The right to be able to go about your studies and work in a way that's not disrupted by freedom of speech or by activism or protest. And those lines exist. They do. Like many campuses across the country, we're going to navigate things as they develop over the next year and beyond. But our leadership team spent a lot of time this summer. We, of course, worked with folks that we rely on, our legal counsel. We thought about past experience we had here. We've thought about the future. And I want to let you know, Derek, I think it's at the bottom here. What we did is we took a full inventory of our policies, our procedures, our student handbook, and we thought about how do they stack up against the modern challenges that we have in this area? And we feel, and I want to express to you that we feel very confident that on paper, the approach we have right now is an effective approach. It captures the spirit of how we want to handle these issues as we move forward. One thing that did need some improvement is the way in which we collate and organize all of that so that if you're curious, if you're feeling challenged in that area, you have an easy landing spot where you can ask a question and click on a link and find what it is you're looking for. If you visit that link, and thankfully, unlike a lot of our links, it's pretty short and simple, but nmu.edu free speech, you'll find that landing page. Certainly, if you don't find what you're looking for on that landing page, you can feel free to reach out to our leadership team. There are folks on our campus right now. I know Leslie Warren and Rick Mengen have been conducting some workshops as part of the orientation exercise. This is a collective effort. And I think it is absolutely at the heart of what makes a great university. And I am so looking forward to seeing and hearing and feeling challenging debates, confusing debates on this campus, not just, next week or next month, but in the years ahead. I want to thank everyone for the work they did on this matter over the summer, and I invite all of you to take a minute or two and to visit that landing page. The last thing, as I move out of that section and begin to talk about our strategic plan and how we are faring as we head into the new academic year. It's been emphasized already, but I'm going to pause and remind you that like every single human being in this room, our campus, our organization is full of flaws. We're imperfect. We have wrinkles, warts, however you envision that at the institutional level, they exist. A lot of them exist at Northern. Okay. And that's okay. I think if we neglect that reality or we suppress that reality, that's when we run into real trouble. So when I just ran through these challenges, these questions, it's an acknowledgement that there's a lot for us to work on. I would like for us to be able to say, look, of course we don't want to discover, one flaw, one mistake, one kind of shortcoming after another over the course of the next year. I hope that that's not what the next year in the future is about. But as we do discover those things, I want us to be judged by how we react, how we come together in order to address opportunities that may come along with those challenges, how we work together in order to get better over time. That's what will be the true mark of a Northern Michigan University approach to our status as a highly complex, somewhat flawed, but hardworking, committed, and collaborative university. Think about that as we move forward into the next year. And I have to say, you can also think about how we're doing as a university. How are we doing? We're doing pretty darn good as a university. We have things we need to work on, but I couldn't be prouder of how the fundamentals work. We need to take a step back and allow ourselves to say, you know what? We have a room full of talented people. We have a beautiful late August morning. We have students coming back to this campus over the next few days, and we have a lot to celebrate. How do we know that? I think that that's a really good question, but one way in which we can know that is to take a look at what I'm considering our vital indicators. If I think about the health of this university and the kind of broadest level metrics that can help us understand how we're doing, it's tough, but we can boil some things down to a list of, well, I think conveniently there's 10 of them. A list of 10 vital indicators. And I don't put them up on the screen to kind of walk through them in any detail right now. But I want to let you know on an annual basis, when I get back in front of you at Convocation, we'll check in on these indicators. And in some areas, we may not be headed in the right direction. These indicators allow us to say, you know what, let's get the flags raised and let's apply our talent, our commitment, resources necessary in order to get those things headed in the right direction. And not all of them are budget-oriented. Not all of them are about hard numbers. There are some things up there that are about that, head count, of course, external giving, our bond rating, which, by the way, is very strong. But they also capture some of the priorities we've established as a university. The student experience, the employee experience. We're going to capture these measures kind of qualitatively as much as we do quantitatively. How do we understand the ways in which we're supporting not only our students, but also our employees? I draw your attention to number 4, opportunity gaps. This university is founded on the concept of a right to try, the ability to maintain open doors, but also create extraordinary outcomes. We will not be done in our work until our graduation rates, our student body headcount, our career placement success is evenly distributed across different student groups in order to reflect this reality, which is that talent exists everywhere, But opportunity does not always exist evenly everywhere. This university is a place where all of our employees, all of our students will have an equal opportunity to earn success. And the earn part is crucial. It's not handed out, but all of our students have an equal opportunity to earn success. So we will narrow any gaps that exist in terms of our student outcomes. Thanks, Cal. We can move on from this slide, but I set it out as a benchmark for us to refer to throughout the year, and you will hear me circle back to this at the next convocation, and we'll check in on each of these areas. Now, y'all in more typical ways are always interested in other numbers. You know, I think about enrollment, I think about housing. These are also important indicators. The truth is, we don't have, a final sense of what enrollment numbers look like until the census date. We don't even know exactly what housing numbers are going to look like. It's a beautiful thing, but the reality is we have a number of students who will show up in the next few days, say, hey, I enrolled and I'm looking for a place to live. What can you do for me? So we don't know, but I have a pretty good idea of where we're at. Housing, that's a short answer. How are we doing in housing? We're full. Okay, we're very full. We're doing our best to accommodate our incoming class and our returning students. Enrollment, we're up. We're up in terms of our first-year students over a tremendously large class last year. We're up in overall headcount, reflecting very good persistence and retention rates. We're up in terms of our graduate student population. So Lisa and Tess and team, and all of our graduate programs across the country. The numbers here, you kind of look twice and you think maybe there's a decimal point missing, but incoming class up 11.5% for graduate students, and then the continuing number of students up 30%. So look, we're a bunch. I came up through, as a graduate student, I came up through the professorial ranks. We're trained on this campus, on all campuses, to be skeptics and critics. We pick holes in things. I think it's absolutely healthy for us to look around and say, what can we do better on campus? Where are we falling a little bit short? And I've tried to acknowledge that as an important part of who we are in this campus. It's also okay. It is okay every once in a while for us to step back and be like, you know what? We work in a beautiful community, on a beautiful campus, with talented colleagues and wonderful students who add new excitement every single day to our lives. And oh, by the way, this university is in a strong position. And so as we think about our next steps, we're operating on that strong foundation. It does not mean that we stand still. In fact, as we think about our new strategic plan, I like to think about it as a directional document. Our new strategic plan is called Our Compass because it is a directional document. It is not about a specific destination. It's not even about a specific timeline. It's about the aspirations we have, the direction that we will take as a university, and the big landmarks along the way that will guide our progress. This strategic plan is characterized by a few things at this point in time, and we'll have plenty of opportunity to dive in over the course of the rest of this year. I also want to point to your cards. I think there's a QR code, if I'm not mistaken, on those cards. So if you're curious right now, you can kind of look out at the digital copy of this as I run through it in fairly short order. But our compass didn't emerge out of thin air. I hope it feels somewhat familiar to most of you in this room. It builds on traditions and strengths that we have at Northern Michigan University. It also is built on a really extensive listening and engagement process. And I want to take a minute to thank Jason and Ellen, your entire team, and also thank everyone in this room and folks across campus who took the time to participate in what may have felt like a bit of a meandering path as depicted on the screen, but was truly an opportunity for us to reach out to community, to students, to faculty and staff, and get feedback on what our new direction should look like. So what you see today reflects an extensive process. I also want to say that this plan should feel action-oriented. It's organized around 3 grand challenges. The grand challenges relate to supporting our people, partnering with our place, and realizing the potential of all our students. The plan is bold, it's focused, Jason, I love that interim plan, but I think there were like 80 strategies and 190 tactics. This plan has 3 grand challenges, 11 strategies, and 9 key outcomes that we'll focus on. It is streamlined so that we can tackle big things along the way. I also want to tell you, as I work through this next segment, this plan is a work in progress. What exists now is a framework for the work ahead. I mentioned we have the grand challenges, we have the strategies, the outcomes. Over the next few months, this fall semester, we will build out the action plans, the strategy leaders, the tactics, the metrics that will really reflect where the rubber meets the road for this plan. So I hope you've engaged to date, but if you haven't had the opportunity to engage, but you want to this fall, I know we'll have coming up, and I'll repeat the dates at the end, strategic doing workshops around each of the grand challenges, and we'll have an opportunity to check back in towards the end of the fall at a university forum, where we stand once these action plans have been built out. So here we go, a sneak peek, and you can move on to the next slide. First thing we did, it all starts with values at NMU. Those values are longstanding. We'd like to think we don't mess with our values all that often, but I want to point out that this last year, we formally and explicitly added an 8th core value around well-being to our set of 7 that existed previously. If you have... It's not news, I think, to folks who understand that well-being as a point of emphasis has existed at Northern for quite some time, but explicitly including it in our list of core values is a step forward. And I encourage you all, if you take a little bit of time, to read the descriptions of each one of these core values. Those descriptions are important, and in fact, I think it's what takes our core values from jargon to something that feels very Northern. So if you haven't already, read through that list of core values, and I hope that they resonate with you. The second and third things that we undertook, a new mission statement and a new vision statement. You can think of our mission statement as a statement about who we are and why we exist. I'm not going to read through our mission statement here. I think it captures the breadth of our purpose as an institution. I think it is hopefully as memorable as possible, while also including the core elements that we know are important to list explicitly as part of this statement, who we are and why we exist. I'd like to actually spend a second more, and I will read it out loud, on our vision statement, because this captures this notion of directionality. Where are we headed as a university? Who will we be in the year 2149? And I like this because I think it's relevant to this place. And I am going to read it out loud, so bear with me. Like the lake that inspires us, Northern Michigan University will be known as superior in the ways we support our people, partner with our place, and realize the potential of all our students. That rings true to me. You will hear me talk about people, place, and potential time and time again. I hope it's something that we can all absorb, make our own in our different areas of work, and reflect on as we think about the hard steps that are necessary in order to get us from where we are today to where we want to be. And the heart of our strategic plan, our grand challenges. So I'm practicing repetition. It's kind of hard to do this, to be honest, but our grand challenges really do relate to those 3 concepts. Our first one, as I've mentioned, supporting our people. Each grand challenge has a description. I'll point out that each grand challenge has an executive sponsor. These things will not get done unless there is someone at the leadership level, at the table, advocating for that support, material support, the human bandwidth, staff time, faculty time, and pushing us to move forward on the strategies and outcomes that are attached to each grand challenge. Ria Deaver, our Vice President for People, Culture, Wellbeing, will be the executive sponsor of our Grand Challenge 1, supporting our people. And this is all about recognizing that nothing is possible unless we think about well-being in 3 ways. And those 3 ways are captured in our commitment to the Okanagan Charter. The emotional, mental, kind of well-being of everyone on our campus. How supported do we feel? Do we feel a sense of belonging? Are we feeling comfortable bringing our whole selves to the table? How do we support that core element of well-being? On our campus, diversity, inclusion, healthy debate. How do we build a campus so that as we interact with each other, our campus is characterized by well-being? And then beyond our campus, very important, this place, if you talk to our students in particular, is not separate from the natural environment, our natural setting. It is important, it is in our DNA to take care of our natural setting and promote environmental well-being locally, across the Upper Peninsula, and across the globe. It's an important part of well-being, as much so as our other areas of effort. In this grand challenge, we have 4 strategies that will support 3 outcomes. I am not going to read through all of them, but I want to point out that we are redoubling our commitment to the Okanagan Charter. We're the 17th university in this country to sign the charter. We will be the preeminent university in the United States when it comes to living up to the tenets of that charter. I'll draw your attention to another strategy, and this strategy is all about process. I mentioned diversity, I mentioned inclusion, I've mentioned history and tradition a lot. This university would not exist if it weren't for the people, the achievements, the wisdom of indigenous populations that have lived in the Upper Peninsula for many, many, many years, many centuries before new arrivals. And this university has a special obligation to honor, to support, and promote the success of our indigenous students, staff, faculty, and community members, both of tribal nations and community members that may reside outside our tribal boundaries. This is not a simple effort. It is easy in most respects for me to stand at this podium and talk this way. There is hard work that we're very well prepared to do. There's hard work that we may not be prepared to do right now. But we will go through this process. We will rewire this university. We will figure out how to become a university that supports good outcomes, but also supports a process of Native-centered thinking and the ability to see things through the perspective that we may not have shared before. I'm so excited about this strategy and the outcomes that it can produce. There are other key strategies here as well, but I'll move on to our second grand challenge, and that is partnering with our place. Look, the university in its current form would not exist if a group of people in the Upper Peninsula had not gotten together and decided that we needed an institution to support and educate teachers as new arrivals came to the region. This grand challenge is about respecting our community, the region we serve, promoting more work-based learning opportunities for our students, promoting economic development in the community, increasing the interactions between our campus and our community. I think it's captured quite well, if you move on to the next slide, by our obligation also to civic engagement and preparing students not just for career success, but to be successful citizens, to promote the principles of democracy and to be actively engaged in their communities. The executive sponsor for this grand challenge is Gavin Leach, our Vice President of Finance and Administration. Our third grand challenge. In this grand challenge, I think is characterized by signature elements of Northern Michigan University. This grand challenge is about realizing the potential of all our students, and I hope that theme has been clear to you. This is not about the glide path students, who are, of course, important to work with and to elevate, but making sure that all of our students have that equal opportunity to earn success. How do we do that? Through things that make Northern Michigan University special already. High-impact practices, undergraduate research, work-based learning experiences, study abroad. We'll have a bold plan to increase the participation rates in high-impact practices across this campus. We'll also have, like I said, an obligation to become more flexible and adaptive in the kinds of curriculum that we have. Not just four-year degree programs or two-year degree programs, but flexible certificates, continuing education opportunities. And there will be no doubt about this, continue what we've started, and that is to complete the transformation of our student success efforts, and that's our advising teams, the way that they work with the academic departments that they serve. There is no wavering in that. It is the best practice. It has been a transition. It will be the model for how we advise students at Northern Michigan University. There is no wavering on that. All of this will produce some outstanding outcomes with respect to graduation rates, with respect to narrowing opportunity gaps. This grand challenge area connects to our entire campus. I think it feels at home in academic affairs, and so the executive sponsor is our Provost, Anne Bellman. There is so much here, and I am wrapping up and about to hand the podium to our next, I think, very exciting folks. How are we going to get from where we are today to where we want to be with the strategic plan? First answer, we may not. There are enough bold goals in here where we may fall short in some areas. As long as we're working hard and we're making positive progress along the way, we will still accomplish so much as we pursue this plan. The second thing that I would point out, it's going to take resources. Again, bandwidth. We're all spread so thin, from top to bottom, left to right. This entire campus is spread thin. We will find a way to carve out the bandwidth we need in order to pursue these objectives. There could be material resources, AKA money, necessary in order to accomplish some of these goals. I get that. We're also going to need to chart out intermediate milestones. Some of these objectives are so bold, there will be times to check in along the way and celebrate small wins, medium wins on our way to the big, big wins. This plan is about looking forward. As I wrap up, I want to wrap up with this real treat. It's my honor to stand here in front of you as your 17th president. It's a privilege to introduce our next item, which is new, so it's based in the present. It absolutely honors the past, but it also points us in the right direction as we move forward. Our new alma mater, which, by the way, emerged from a tremendously competitive process, our committee involving staff and faculty and students and administrators had a hard time getting here. Our new alma mater is written by one of our professors, Dwight Brady. Dwight, congratulations on Northern Pride. And Dwight, unless I'm mistaken, you are going to close us out and ultimately hand the podium back to Anne Dahlman, but close us out along with Aaron Kolwitz, and I hope you can perform Northern Pride for us. Welcome up, Aaron and Dwight. Thank you, everybody.
Snow-capped ridges, forest floors, crashing waves on rocky shores, on the home of Anishinaabe tribes. Our alma mater stands with pride. In your halls my voice I find, rigor building strength of mind. Knowledge will illuminate the future we anticipate, like auroras in the sky. We will shine with northern pride. We will shine with northern pride.
Well done, Aaron and Dwight. Thank you. I get chills every time I hear it, and I look forward to NMU's Pride of the North Marching Band performing its official debut at the homecoming football game on September 21st. Thank you. We are almost done. Before we depart, remember that you can see the events for the 125th anniversary celebration on a website, nmu.edu/125, and including a number of them during homecoming, September 15th through the 20th. Thank you for your attendance today. Enjoy your college and departmental meetings, and best wishes for the 2024-2025 academic year. Yay!